Hey everybody, thank you for checking out the Saturday Sit Down. I am, as always, the Tramp. Today we are going to talk about the big news, the Saab Miller buyout of Terrapin. So we're going to be drinking Terrapin Moo-Hoo. I'm not sure if I've drank this before on the show before. I know I filmed an episode where I drank this, but I did not have... there were a couple episodes I didn't upload, so I'm not sure if this made it. Unless I was going to break into one of my waxed bottles, the Terrapin Moo-Hoo special editions. I didn't have a Terrapin beer, but I got the glass, got the beer. No, I'm kidding, of course, about this being the big news, but we will cycle back to it because it's a bigger part than you might think. But damn, that's a good beer. Terrapin makes great stuff. We'll cycle back around to that in a second. All right. So, in all seriousness, the big news this week is, of course, the United States Department of Justice signing off on Anheuser-Busch InBev buying Saab Miller. Now, that is conditional on the sale of the Miller brand to the Coors Miller company. So that's going to get spun off, and it's not going to be a thing. And a few of the other Miller brands, Saab Miller brands, are getting sold off to satisfy other countries' anti-monopoly entities' concerns. So we're getting Peroni and Grolsch are getting sold off to Japanese brewer Asahi. Pilsner Urquell family beers is getting sold off, but no buyers stepped up yet. So there's a few brands that are not going to be part of the sale, and the biggest one, at least here in America, is Miller. So everybody, I'm sure some of you have heard people saying, "Oh, did you hear Budweiser's buying Miller?" No, Anheuser-Busch is not going to make Miller Lite. That's not happening. That beer is getting sold off. Coors is getting spun off, and they're buying Miller. So, yes, they're buying Saab Miller, but Saab Miller is not going to be Saab Miller. It's going to be Saab. Saab stands for South African Breweries. So, most of what Anheuser-Busch is getting from this are African breweries. There's the actual South African brewery. Going through Wikipedia, trying to find a bunch of the brands. Try and do as much of this from memory, so I'm looking at you, but not all this can be done. So when I'm looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. So there's South African breweries. Their biggest one that they make is Castle. You got Saab Miller India, which makes a few smaller brands, but they are the parent of Foster's. So Foster's is getting picked up. A lot of African breweries, mostly Botswana, Nigeria, breweries that make a beer called Chibuku Shake Shake, which, if it was practical, I would have already ordered some because it sounds awesomely awful. It comes in a milk carton and it settles. So it's called Shake Shake because you have to shake it up to recombine the parts. It's a beer you have to shake. Doesn't that sound wonderful? It looks very creamy too, like very thick when shaken. So just a wonderful beer, but unfortunately it's just not plausible to get it here, or else I would have already done an episode. There's Canary Island and Polish breweries that make beers you'll probably never see in the United States. Most of the beers affected by this you won't see. These are the brands that ABI is going after. They cannot get Miller Lite and Coors Light. Those brands, just because of the logistics of antitrust laws, that's not going to happen. So those beers are not on the table. What they're looking for is to expand their footprint in Africa, because really there's nothing else they're getting out of it except for 10th and Blake. That's Miller's craft and import arm that we do see come into America. They're based in Chicago, and they are the ones that for now are bringing in Peroni. They won't after the buyout, but they bring in Crispin. They handle the production of Blue Moon and Leinenkugel. And after the buyout, they handle Terrapin. So that is where we as Americans, with our Americentric view of the beer landscape, enter into this. Anheuser-Busch already controls Shock Top, and now they're going to have Blue Moon and Leinenkugel, and those are three of the four biggest, what I like to think of as introductory craft brands. Sam Adams being the fourth. Those are the brands with the nationwide advertising that are available all across the country, that if you have a friend that only drinks Miller Lite, Bud Light, and they're interested in drinking something else, seeing what else is out there, those are the brands that they are most likely going to get. If they're at a restaurant and they want to try something different, those are the brands that are most likely on tap. Those are the brands that are what get people into craft beer more than any other. I mean, you've got a couple of imports like Guinness that do that a little bit, but mostly it's going to be your Blue Moon or your Sam Adams. And now Blue Moon is going to be part of the Anheuser-Busch InBev family. So that is a big deal. That is probably the biggest deal for us in America. If you're watching from Africa, I'm sorry. I would love to hear from you and hear your opinion on this, but it's going to be your opinion, not mine, because we have very different perspectives on the case. But as an American, that's really the biggest aspect of this buyout, is they're going to control breweries that are already national pseudo-craft breweries, except for Terrapin, a small brewery that makes some good beer that has a small southeast footprint. They're made in an Atlanta suburb. Their Moohoo is really good. They've got a couple good, really hoppy beers that they make, and their limited release waxed bottle variants of Moohoo that they put out every year are fantastic. I don't see that changing much. A lot of people have complained about Goose Island since the ABI buyout, but that's probably not going to happen to Terrapin, because I don't see them taking it national. I think it's going to be a lot closer to the Elysian situation, where it's mostly hands off. I don't see them trying to take it national, but this is going to be the biggest beer affected by the buyout that has a potential for any real change. So if you're not already a Terrapin fan, and if you're not in the Southeast United States, that's not likely that you are, this really isn't going to affect you that much. So I wanted to put this out there to try and settle a few of the concerns people have had. And I'm sure some of your Facebook beer-loving friends have been playing Chicken Little with the sky is falling over all this. And now, hopefully, this will help you let them know that that's not the case. The sky isn't falling. It's just one company getting a little bit bigger and having a small handful of brands. But all the big ones, they can't buy legally. So, as always, I've been the Tramp. Thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up to like this video. It helps me out a lot. And if you aren't subscribed yet and you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe. I'm going to try and keep bringing you something informative every week on the Saturday Sit Down. If you like wrestling, until I spin that off into its own channel, that is coming down the line. We're not there yet. Stay tuned tomorrow, because there's a wrestling pay-per-view. We are not doing a too late to sleep. We are doing a too early not to sleep, to get that out before Battleground tomorrow. It's going to be a nice weekly wrap-up. A lot of stuff going on this week that we're going to have to cover. I got most of that edited down already. We'll have that filmed and up on Sunday afternoon, early afternoon, instead of late night like we usually do. Hit that subscribe if that sounds like something that would interest you. Thank you so much, and as always, cheers.